When did it come, Matt? Who did it come from?
Steve, Matt stepped out for a minute.
Oh, okay. No, I don't know what emails he would have been talking about. I would be interested in that graduation on the 20th or 16th.
Okay.
It did send it. That's crazy.
Anybody outside?
I'm not seeing any other emails, Matt.
Oh, I got one from Fairbanks. And
Oh, I didn't even,
That's the one.
I didn't recognize her at all, whoever that is, or him, or whatever.
yeah, I got two.
Hi, John.
Why are those?
Hey, John.
Can I borrow your packet? I totally forgot mine. So I'll get that.
Do you want me to? Oh, yeah.
Or do you have
It's all
one?
full of staples.
Oh, he's got another one. Okay. I took off this morning, totally.
Did you sign that thing today?
No. What's that one for?
Do you want all the
Did you grab the
attachments?
folder?
Oh, that's okay.
Did you grab that folder?
I did. I didn't, not sure when he was gonna come.
And you know, she picked it up. And she was, and then she just brought it back.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, do you think we should mention publicly that we're in receipt of the subject, or they just have to assume? I don't want to mention it. I'm just trying to keep them,
I don't know.
like, we're not, I don't want to look for the door. Can you get by with the agenda?
Yeah.
sometimes
I ain't much on this.
I grabbed your notes. I was looking at it last night. I left it by my chair and that's where it's sitting.
Gavin?
We were up there, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
We
Yeah,
should close it up then, or, yeah.
no, we leave it open.
Or leave it? You don't have to shut the water down, you got that all taken care of, heated and.
Yep, yeah, I mean, we shut the pump off every time we leave,
Smart.
but yeah, otherwise, keep it open all year.
Yeah, whenever I, leave the house even for a weekend, I just, so if something happens, I just shut the water supply, I don't shut the well off. Shit, you can't pump if you can't go in.
Yeah, that's really smart.
I try to remember that all the time. I've heard stories where my buddy was a plumber in his new house. He takes out, it's like 3 years ago, he goes to Nebraska and go bull hunting mule deer like in October. His wife's a teacher in Mora. And all of a sudden she goes, hey, there's water spraying all over the basement. Well, go shut the thing up. I was just, of course, it springs a leak under pressure. It's just shooting and just running.
Commissioner Chafee, are you on the line?
Yeah, I am. Say, is
Hello?
Steve on yet?
Yep,
Steve,
Yep.
I'm gonna have to exit the meeting a little early.
okay,
I just want to let you know that.
all right, thanks, Steve. Give us a
Yep.
heads up or something.
Yeah, I will.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Our trainings.
Yeah, did that go pretty well? Here's your envelope.
All right, thank you.
First and
Was I supposed to run back?
It's hard to,
You don't need to.
yeah,
it's difficult thing up. Right. It's-
Hi, Becky. Hi, Debbie.
Hi, Steve.
Okay, I have 10 o'clock. And I see all the board members are in attendance. So I will start the meeting. First of all, we'll wait for my clock to chime away. I would shut it off, but I have no idea how to do that. Okay, welcome to the December 1st Pine County Board meeting. This meeting will be in person and via WebEx and phone conference and streamed live on the internet. Not more than 2 county commissioners will be present in the meeting room. The public may join the meeting via WebEx, in person, or watch it on a live stream. If joining the meeting in person, the total number of persons, including the commissioners, cannot exceed 10, and social distancing of at least 6 feet will be in effect. The governor of the state of Minnesota has issued Executive Order 20-01 declaring a peacetime emergency and coordinating Minnesota's strategy to protect Minnesota from COVID-19. On March 24th, 2020, the Pine County Board of Commissioners declared a local emergency for Pine County. Based on these conditions, the chair of the Pine County Board of Commissioners has determined that the requirements of State of Minnesota Statute 13D-021 Subdivision 1 have been met, and it is not practical or prudent for all members of the county board to meet in person. The public is invited to join the meeting in person or remotely by phone on the numbers given. If you're on the phone, you obviously found those numbers. We will officially call the meeting to order and rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. We have public forum. If anybody wishes to speak at public forum, we allow 3 minutes. And do we have some call-in folks that wish to speak? Is there anybody in person that wishes to speak at the Sandstone meeting room?
Sir, I'd like to speak. Hello, sir. I would like to speak.
Yes.
This is Michelle Gross, and I would like to speak.
Okay, Michelle, go ahead. You got 3
Thank you.
minutes.
Good morning.
All right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you. Good morning, commissioners. My name is Michelle Gross, and I'm president of the organization Communities United Against Police Brutality. I'm calling regarding the case of Anthony Legato. I recognize that you cannot speak about this case, but I certainly can. And I'm working with his family and calling to raise my concerns about this particular case. This is a case in which Anthony was killed by Pine County Sheriff's Deputy Joshua Pepin on October 9th, 2020. At this time, what the family would like to have happen is for you to release the body camera footage and the squad camera footage to them. Body camera footage is public under Minnesota Statute 13.825, Subdivision 2. The squad cam, both the squad cam footage and body cam footage can be held during an ongoing investigation, but need not be. And we would encourage you strongly to release that footage to the family to give them some peace of mind. Further, we are calling for you to fire Deputy Joshua Pepin. He sped past other deputies in order to be the first on the scene, and he shot an unarmed man who was running away from him, and he put others in danger in the process. Finally, we are calling for the prosecution of Deputy Joshua Pepin. Your county attorney, who I see is on the call, must prosecute him because the killing was unjustified, and we don't want you to rely on a grand jury, Prosecutor Fredrickson. We want you to instead make a decision yourself and bring Deputy Joshua Peppin to justice. I thank you for your opportunity to speak. And again, I'm working with the family, and we want this family to get justice. So thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Is there anybody else that wishes?
I would like to speak if I may.
Yes, name, please.
Thank you. My name is Erin Casio.
Okay,
Good morning.
go ahead, Aaron.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm here also to demand justice for Anthony Legato. On October 9th, 2020, Anthony was killed by Deputy Joshua Peppin on Highway 35. Anthony was unarmed and running away in fear for his life. Deputy Peppin also put many other people on the highway in danger with his reckless actions. Anthony and his family deserve justice. I ask that you release the body camera and squad camera footage to Anthony's family. I ask that you fire Joshua Peppin and that the prosecutor, Reese Fredrickson, prosecute Deputy Peppin for the murder of Anthony Legato. Joshua Peppin must be held accountable for his actions. Anthony Legato is deeply missed by his parents, his sisters, his cousins, his grandmother, and his friends. Most importantly, Anthony's son Vinny will not get a chance to grow up with his dad. Joshua Peppin took all that away. Anthony's family is grieving, and they deserve truth, justice, and answers. I yield my time. Thanks for allowing me to speak.
Thank you, Aaron. Anybody else?
Can you hear me?
Good morning.
Yes, go ahead. Who's speaking?
Hi, my name is Sierra Legato.
Hi, Sarah.
I'm Anthony's sister.
Okay,
Hi. I am calling in regards to the unjustified killing of my brother Anthony. On October 9th, 2020, as you probably already heard, he was unarmed and running away when he was shot by the Deputy Joshua Peppin. He should not have died, and we demand that justice is given to my brother. The impulsive, excessive, fatal actions of Joshua Peppin ended the life of my brother at 25 years old. He was a father to his son Vinny. He was a son, a brother, a grandson, and a friend to so many. And most of all, he was a human that did not deserve to die like that. And we all demand that Deputy Joshua Peppin is fired for his actions that day. He sped past other deputies to be the first on the scene. He endangered other lives. He shot an unarmed man who was running away and put so many others in danger. We also demand that the Pine County prosecutor, Reese Fredrickson, prosecute Deputy Peppin for the killing of Anthony Legato. And finally, we ask that the body camera and squad camera footage is released to us, Anthony's family. We're asking that both sets of videos be released to us. I appreciate your time. Thank you for letting me speak.
thank you, Sarah.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
I just want you to know there's no one in the room up here that wishes to speak, just so you know that.
okay, thank you. Is there anybody else on the call that would like to speak?
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. Can you hear me? Hi, good morning, Commissioners. My name is Julie Olapinski. I also am calling on behalf of the family of Anthony Legato. You've heard the stories. You've heard what the family wants, what the family actually needs. Now, I know, I guess.
I lost you, Julie.
Hello?
Yep, now I got you
Are you
back.
still with me? Oh,
yep.
All right. No, I apologize for that. I'm a parent. This was a friend of my daughter's. And the family needs justice. They need closure. They need to know what happened. They need the truth. And I don't understand how this is just being so quiet. Please give the family what they need. You guys are all parents. We all have children. I'm a mom. If this was one of your kids, what would you want? You would want justice. None of our kids are angels. Please give the family justice. They need justice. Please look at yourselves in the mirror as parents. What would you want if this happened to you? I appreciate your time. Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you, Julie. Anybody else? Anybody else? We certainly want everybody that is willing to talk. If there are no other callers.
Commissioner Holland?
Yes.
Eileen Krupp is indicating she would like to speak.
Chairman Hill, I just like to say a word on behalf of the Pine County law enforcement, the deputies, judicial system, and say that I hope this case goes forward with the investigation as it's supposed to. Take the dangerous actions of somebody driving the wrong way on the freeway put so many lives in danger. And I think our deputies did what they needed to do at the time. I support them. Many in our communities are very much behind our law enforcement and the job that they do, and we appreciate it. That's all I have.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that wishes to speak?
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
My name is Tanya Tukwa. I am the aunt of Vinny, which is Anthony's son. I'm also calling about to for Anthony Legato. He was killed by the Pine County Sheriff, Joshua Pepin, on October 9th. To release to the family the body camera and the footage, and to fire Deputy Joshua, and he needs to be prosecuted.
Thank you, Tanya.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tanya. Did we get everybody?
I just got on the call. I'm Shelby Davis.
Okay, Shelley?
Yep, I missed whatever was going on, but I'm also here for the same thing as Tanya, the last person that spoke.
Okay, Shelley. Thank you. Anybody else?
I'm a friend of the family, and I just wanted to also
Who is this?
state,
Who's this?
I'm a friend of the family, and I wanted to just state that this footage needs to be released to the family as soon as possible. There's no reason why it should be withheld. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? The new caller wish to say anything?
No, I missed what, I didn't know what was said before.
Pardon me? Did you wish to speak at public forum? Okay, I believe we've taken all the calls. Just so you know, at public forum, we listen, and we do not respond. So, we have heard your calls, and, we'll move on with our meeting. So thank you very much for participating.
Thank you.
Okay, yes. We will move on to the agenda, adopting the agenda. Any additions or corrections to the agenda?
Mr. Chair, this is Dave Minke. There are no additions or corrections to the agenda.
All right. We're looking for an adoption of the agenda then.
Ludwig will move.
McGrath second.
McGrath second. Any discussion? If not, the clerk will call the roll.
District 2, Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
District 3, Commissioner Safety.
Aye.
District 4, Commissioner.
Aye.
District 5, Commissioner Ludwig.
Aye.
District 1, Chair Holland.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we're now looking for approval of the minutes of November 17th. And summary for publication.
Or I'll move them.
Thank you, Josh.
Okay.
Thank you, Steve. Any discussion? If not, the clerk will call the roll.
District 3, Commissioner Safety.
Aye.
District 4, Commissioner McCray.
Aye.
District 5, Commissioner Ludwig.
Aye.
District 1, Chair Holland.
Yes.
District 2, Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
We'll move to the minutes of the board report and correspondence, which would be the canvassing board minutes from November 12th.
Commissioner Ludwig moves.
McGrath second.
Motion by Ludwig, second by McRae. Any discussion? If not, the clerk will call the roll.
District 4, Commissioner McCray.
Aye.
District 5, Commissioner Ludwig.
Aye.
District 1, Chair Holland.
Yes.
District 2, Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
District 3, Commissioner Safety.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right. This brings us up to the consent agenda. You've had that before you. There are no other questions about it. I'm looking for approval.
McGrath move.
I'll second.
Is that Chafee that seconded?
Moore. Commissioner Moore.
Okay. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
District 5, Commissioner Ludwig.
Aye.
District 1, Chair Holland.
Yes.
District 2, Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
District 3, Commissioner Safety.
Aye.
District 4, Commissioner McRae.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to the regular agenda, which the first item is the technology committee report. The minutes are there, but I think the one action item that came out of that is it's a Guardian. It's like an RFID thing. So they walk around, the jailers can walk around with something about the size of a cell phone. and they can make notes on that, so when they get back to their desks, they have to report that they visited every inmate, is it half hour, Rod? Anyway, and so instead of just checking a box and saying, yes, I checked on the person, they can make some little notes, and we're very conscious and caring for the people that we have in our custody. So I believe this is something that is available, and I believe it's something that we need to do. We do have money in the budget for it. And Rod, if you want to add anything, or Josh, that's kind of what my takeaway from the meeting was.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, the Guardian RFID system, yes, it is a well-being check system for us logging, but it's much more than that too. It tracks movement of the inmates throughout our facility, and it lends to the integrity of our whole logging system and what we're logging, what we're seeing, what we're doing. Should we be put in a position of having to defend our actions and things within the jail. So this is just a tool that we can use to better log and take care of the inmates that we're having here. It's not going to do the perfect well-being check. Our staff still need to perform well-being checks. This is just a tool for us to log and to document what we do. Any other questions or anything?
If not, we should get a motion to go ahead with this purchase.
Commissioner Moore will make a motion to go ahead and purchase the Guardian RFID.
Commissioner Ludwig will second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion or questions? If not, the clerk will call the roll.
District 1, Chair Holland.
Yes.
District 2, Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
District 3, Commissioner Chafee.
Aye.
District 4, Commissioner McRae.
Aye.
District 5, Commissioner Ludwig.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. That passes, and we'll move on to the land sale cancellation withdrawal.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is Kelly Schroeder, County Auditor Treasurer. And so before you today, we had a tract that had been offered on the 2020 land sale, tract 14 in Michigan Township. It's 10 acres of swamp. It was offered for sale for $1,900. At the auction, it was actually bid up to $7,000. But unfortunately, after the auction, the person who won came in and gave their down payment, and they were planning to purchase it on a contract. After that person visited the property, they realized it wasn't what they thought it was. And so they have requested that we cancel the sale, and they do not want to go forward with it. And so with that, you have a resolution before you today to cancel that sale and to actually withdraw the parcel from the land auction, just so that we can offer it again next year.
Kelly, does anybody have any questions? I have a question, but Kelly, is there a provision that allows us to contact the second? Do we know who the second bidder was even?
So unfortunately not. Last year after the land auction, we had this happen a couple times. And so we had thought about this year trying to keep track of who the second person was and what their bid was at. But we couldn't figure out a way to do it. We're going to continue to have that conversation for the 2021 land auction though.
We did get the down payment though, right?
Correct. And so the person is fully aware that that's forfeited.
Okay. All right. So we can't sell it until the 2021 land auction now? Is that the way it works?
Yeah. That's what we're asking you to do. We could put it on our over-the-counter sale, but then it would have to be at the $1,900.
Okay.
And it was bid up to $7,000, so we have an idea that the value is more than $1,900. So
Yeah, I get you. Well, you guys will figure it out, how to make, because it seems to be a little bit of a, not a trend, but it happens more often. It seems like, so I'm sure you guys will come up with a solution. Anyway, does anybody care to make a motion for the land sale cancellation withdrawal?
Chafee moves it.
Thank you, Steve.
Ludwig will second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Any more questions? If not, the clerk will call the roll.
District 2, Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
District 3, Commissioner Chafee.
Aye.
District 4.
Aye.
5, Commissioner Ludwig.
Aye.
1, Chair Holland.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Residential recycling contract.
Mr. Chair, this is Kelly Schroeder, County Auditor again. I'm going to carry this one as well. So you have before you the residential recycling contract, just a bit of a history lesson. We have contracted with FaZe out of Sandstone for the last 13 years for this service. But this summer we were notified by FaZe that they would no longer be in the recycling business, and so we find a new person to handle our household recycling. We went through an RFP process, and we received a bid from Cloquet Riverside Recycling for $69,600. So at the October 20th board meeting, county staff were authorized to pursue the contract development with the recycler. And so that's what you have before you today. The contract's been reviewed and we spent quite a bit of time on it. Some different provisions in it, or I guess I wouldn't even say they're different. They're actually provisions that I'm excited about, is that we can extend the contract for an additional 4 years based on mutual agreement. And that contract price then would be based on the consumer price index. So that seems to go up 1 to 2% a year. And so that's the part that excites me, that lately we've been every year renegotiating this contract. And so this contract now could potentially have us good until for the next 4 years till 2024. And we know the price when we're setting the budget. And so that's something that the recycler had asked for in the contract. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, that sounds great. You know, so that we have that under wraps, we know what we're doing. Otherwise, it's a pretty straightforward contract, very similar to what we've had with FaZe. Any questions on that?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Commissioner Ludwig, yeah, this is just to pick up what we have at a site, right? So do we still man the site? And
correct. So this is to pick up from our manned sites, which are in Willow River, going to be in Sandstone, and then in Pine City. But then we also do still have a couple of unstaffed sites. So it's picking up at those as well.
Thank you.
Kelly, I think the consumer price index is something that haulers are used to, because that's how landfills work. Because instead of renegotiating a contract every year with haulers, we have a inflationary index. So we don't, otherwise it goes along, and then people get mad because their garbage went up 10-15%. And so everybody can budget for that. So I like that idea.
Mr. Chair, I had a quick question.
Yeah.
Kelly, is this about what we spent through FaZe, or is it more or less?
It is less than what we spent through FaZe. A bit less, but it, you know, with FaZe, we got a lot of other bang for our buck with the employees at FaZe. Huh?
Okay. Thank you.
So we're looking for a motion to sign the contract for $69,600.
Mike Brown will make that motion.
Thanks.
Ludwig will second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Any more questions? If not, the clerk will call the roll.
District 3, Commissioner Chafee.
Aye.
District 4, Commissioner McRae.
Aye.
5, Commissioner Ludwig.
Aye.
District 1, Dave Allen.
Yes.
District 2, Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Thank you.
Coronavirus response update.
Mr. Chairman?
Graham. Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, this is Steve. I'm gonna have to
Yep.
have to exit. So
Yep.
just to give you a heads up. Thanks.
Thank you, Steve.
Yep, bye.
COVID, that's me. Hello, Director of Public Health. So just to give kind of a brief overview of where we're sitting with COVID, we have had quite a few weeks. These past couple weeks have been a little intense. Some really significant exponential growth we're seeing. It seems to be leveling off a little bit, which is promising. But really, the interesting thing is going to be in about a week or two, what the numbers look like in terms of cases because of the holiday. So it's kind of a wait and see period. During this time, we're expecting to see hospitalizations continue to increase and deaths continue to increase because of the lag from cases to hospitalization to deaths. So that's why I think we saw 101 deaths around that a couple days ago, which was a record, a lot in one day. So we're just kind of in this wait and see period of, did people follow the rules over the holidays or not? So we'll kind of see where we're at there. We're still doing well with CICT. We're keeping up better than most other places in the state in terms of calling people back within an appropriate amount of time. It's usually a day. And getting a hold of a good number of people and explaining things. So we're actually doing better than most in that sense. So good job, our team. The positive news, this is so exciting, I get to talk about something good, is that vaccines are right on our doorstep at this point, not literally, but very close. It's looking like Pfizer, which is the first vaccine that requested FDA emergency use authorization, will likely get approved around the 11th of December, which means we would be able to start vaccinating the week after, so the 13th. The 11th is a Friday. So that's in 2 weeks. And the Moderna vaccine, which is the other one that just requested an authorization, will be about a week or two behind that. So we'll have two different vaccines, not immediately available to everybody, but at least I was just on a call literally 2 minutes ago, planning distribution and administration of how we're going to get that to whom. And the who is decided by the CDC has a team of ethicists and physicians and all that deciding priority lists of who comes first. The first are healthcare workers. So if you work in a hospital and you work with patients, if you are at a skilled nursing facility, so think of our nursing homes, all of those workers who have contact with people will qualify for that 1A, that very first group of people, first in line. We'll also likely today, we're likely going to get changes to that and also include residents of nursing homes in that first group, which is a change. Not for sure yet, so don't quote me, but that's what it's looking like it's going to happen. 1B will then be other long-term care facility staff, group homes, other essential workers, which is an interesting change as well, and we're not entirely certain what that's defined as. I'll find out today, hopefully. 1C is looking like it's going to be people at risk over 65 with comorbidities will be there as well. And that will be an interesting logistic piece of figuring out who qualifies for that. And then there's a group 2 and a group 3. And that's pushing into spring, and it's going to be more community. Show up at this time, sign up online kind of thing. So right now we're in the thick of logistics of figuring out which facilities need us to vaccinate for them, which facilities are doing it on their own. The vaccines themselves have some interesting challenges with being extra cold. But we're figuring that all out. So it's really exciting that we will likely have some people vaccinated by Christmas. And the side effects and the safety and efficacy people really are worried about. The efficacy looks fantastic, which we're surprised by. We figured it would be more in the 60% effective, and we're in the 90s, which is upwards with like the measles vaccine, which is amazing. And the safety around it looks really good. The side effects are pretty minimal. About 2% are having headaches, or your arm is sore, think like tetanus shot, or you're really tired for a day. And then it goes, and then you sleep, and then you're fine. So super exciting. The safety looks really good. The efficacy looks really good. So happy news for once. We've reached a new point, and it's very exciting. I know people tend to have a lot of questions about vaccines in general, let alone a fancy new vaccine. So if people have questions, happy to theoretically have answers. I don't have all the answers.
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Ludwig, so I have two. Where do our ambulance people and our law enforcement people fit in, because they're out with the public all the time? And then secondly, how about our institutions like the jail, the prisons, where there's a lot? So what group are they in?
So EMS falls under as a healthcare worker, and conveniently for us, they are primarily hospital staff already because they work through Essentia. Essentia is going to be taking care of them. It's great for me. So they are first in line as well, along with other healthcare workers. As far as, what was the other? Oh, jail staff. They are, or law enforcement, sorry. Law enforcement, I'm fairly certain, is 1B. So not quite the very first people in line, but very close. They're just that next step down. And public health will be figuring that out logistically of getting jail staff and law enforcement. We'll probably just do everybody in-house, 1 or 2 days set up, everybody come in, get vaccinated. So that will be probably, it's hard to tell because it's all a supply chain issue. My guess is probably sometime in January. Don't quote me on that though. And then your other question was about jails and I forget the other one you mentioned. But so it's all staff right now. So we're not going to vaccinate inmates right now. And I'm not certain how it's going to look with our state facilities and our federal prison, because there's some weird layers there that I'm not certain about yet. Still have to figure that out.
How about our flu shots that the county used to give out to the people? Are you doing that this year?
We are not, because we had to order flu vaccine back in March, and I don't know if you remember March, but it was a little crazy. So generally flu vaccines need to be ordered about 9 months ahead of time, and we just didn't order them this year. But go to Walmart, they can do it for you. Go to your doctor and you can just do a flu visit, and you don't have to do copays or anything. It's just a vaccine visit. Target will give you a $5 gift card. So if you happen to be near a Target. So no, we're not doing those this year.
Thank you.
Other question? Cool.
Okay, thank you, Sam. Did everybody get their flu shot? I got the flu shot, pneumonia shot, the new shingle shot, which I have to get a follow-up in a couple of weeks for. But that's my public service, public health notification. If you've ever known anybody that's had shingles, you don't want to have shingles. I have an aunt who's 92 who about 3 years ago ended up losing an eye. I mean, they physically had to remove her eye because it got in her head and got around in her eye socket. And that was the best solution for her. So it's not just a nuisance, it's miserable. So anyway, thank you. We'll move on to the CARES Act funding update.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, this is County Administrator Dave Menke. I am sharing a spreadsheet that shows kind of the final disposition of where the money went. And so up at the top, there's that total available line. And so with the direct appropriation that the county received and then the funds that were returned from the cities and townships, the county had almost $4 million in CARES Act funds to distribute. And so if you jump all the way down to the bottom, you'll see that funds remaining is $785,000. So in between are all of the uses of those funds. And so we were able to push out over $1 million into the business and nonprofit community, as well as make some significant direct appropriations to some organizations such as the Historical Society and the Ag Society and FAYS. And then we also were able to invest significantly in county technology and protective measures throughout the county. And then with the remaining funds, we are proposing that we would allocate them to public health and public safety. And so there'd be $213 or almost $214,000 that would go to reimburse public health personnel costs and $572,000 to reimburse public safety personnel costs. And to get there, we had a significant number of people who really worked hard to make these projects happen. And so I know Kelly has been instrumental in accounting for all of these funds, and they're CARES Act funds, but they're still public funds. And so we have had to make sure that we have followed all the rules. And then Don Hickman at the Initiative Foundation was able to ramp up the nonprofit and the business programs very quickly. And I think we've gone into detail on those before, but certainly highlight the partnership that we had with them. And then Becky Schuler at the Pine City Chamber of Commerce really worked hard to get the word out and get applications in and help businesses apply. And then I want to recognize Becky Foss as well, who coordinated with Family Pathways, with Lakes and Pines, with the University of Minnesota Extension to get a lot of that money out in the food support and the direct support. And so as kind of at the end of the road now, we have an accounting for all of the funds that we spent. And I think we made some significant changes when you look at the initial allocation to the final allocation. But I think all of those changes were positive and worked to get more money out into the community. So if there are any questions, we can certainly answer those.
Mr. Chair. Commissioner Levy, I have one. It's just about the WorkFest and the supplemental. That program seemed to be very effective. Is that a one-time deal? Or are they going to try to maintain that as long as we have it?
From a funding perspective, that was a one-time deal because we had these CARES Act funds, and we probably would not have this general fund money available to allocate. The actual programs that Pine Technical and Community College ran are programs that they can replicate. And in fact, the Work Fast program borrowed from other programs that they already have in their customized training. So it really is a matter of funding availability to keep those programs rolling.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But are they going to try to keep it? I know we can't fund them, but are they going to try to keep it going? Or?
I think so. And I know they, previous to the CARES Act piece of it, they had a partnership with the Mille Lacs Band to do some very similar type training. And so there seems to be a role for that, and potentially some of the employers who are hiring the graduates of the program maybe are going to recognize the value of these short, very targeted programs and would potentially contribute to some job training.
Thank you. That's good, yeah.
Just as a follow-up to that, if you didn't see the email today, there is a graduation from a welding program coming up on the 16th at noon. If anybody can make it, I'm going to try to be there, but. Okay. Any other questions on the CARES Act? I commend the staff again for the hard work they did, and there was a lot of late night scratching on spreadsheets and trying to figure out that how we can help our business community and nonprofit community and follow all the guidelines, the federal guidelines, state guidelines, and make sure we meet all the audit requirements. So I appreciate that. We'll move on to commissioner updates. AMC Policy Committee, Public Safety.
Mr. Chair, I reported on the last meeting, but I can do it again. But, all right.
Mille Lacs Corporate Venture Business Incubator and Entrepreneur Meeting. Did anybody else get to one of those? They had 2 sessions and I went to one. I thought it was exceptional and very exciting for what can happen in East Central Minnesota and specifically Pine County. And we should be very proud to have the Mille Lacs band stepping up to the plate and helping us, not helping the whole county try to move forward with some exciting business opportunities. So we look for great things coming out of that. Did anybody else get to that? One of those? Pine County Housing and Redevelopment Authority. Anybody got a report there? Arrowhead County Association.
Yeah, I've attended that one. I'm assuming and hope that all you folks got a copy of this proposed legislative priorities. They got 8 of them listed there. We gotta pick our top 3 and get back to them at the next meeting, which isn't until January. So we got a month or better to mull them over and look and see what's most important to Pine County and give them our input. Other than that, Coochin County, they got half the money for the bridge. Kevin's still trying, but he's getting there. He's got half of it. Carlton County's got their shop is just about done in Barnum, their maintenance shop. In St. Louis County, their folks are just spinning with this COVID there. They don't know which way to go, but they're getting through it. So that's all I have. Matt, anything you want to add or?
The only thing I would add is I think it'd be great if we could come up with a top 3. I don't know how you want to do that, Mr. Chair.
I think we should actually talk about that at our next meeting. So that's our homework. So make sure that if we can agree on 3, that'd be awesome. But we need some direction for our people to move forward, because I think we've all been around long enough to realize that there's some real value in working together with our neighbors to try to keep and get some outside funding to help our counties. So, John, I just want to take this opportunity to thank you. You've been so diligent about going to those meetings and bringing back a great report. We really appreciate that. So thank you much.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah,
can I touch on two of them?
yep,
Just so they know, so the Community Corrections Act, that's the 1, 2, 3, 4, the fifth one down.
yep,
That's the probation funding, and we've talked about it a lot, so I think all the commissioners are aware of that one. And then the Moose Lake Regional Treatment Center closure,
yeah,
that's, I think I talked to you about it, that's those catchment
right,
area dollars that the state, when they closed the Moose Lake, hospital and then, we were bringing patients there, the patients were basically released to the public. And then so all the counties in the area, they called them catchment areas. So the state was funding us, and that's where we were getting those mental health dollars. And I think Barb could speak to that much better. But anyway, what's of note here is we're funded for the next 2 years. But every year it's been to strike the funding since 2003. And they've just barely kept it in the 2-year funding cycle. And I think it was the statute in 2003 took away the mandate on that funding. So we need to keep that on our radar as a board.
right, right.
It's a big impact to Pine County.
It's a big impact to us. Thank you. Extension Committee.
I did miss it. I don't know if Steve
Okay.
Steve Chafee left, forgot, so.
All right. Rush Line Task Force, that was canceled. Labor negotiations. I think we're done, aren't we?
Well, you're very optimistic. We're not quite done.
Okay,
And we should have some agreements to approve at the next board meeting. And we're getting very close. And right now, the administrator is just a little bit behind on getting all the contracts caught up on the language,
okay,
which means we're making good progress.
all right.
Mr. Chair, I got a quick one. What,
Yep.
are we pending anything, David? As far as, we don't have no other meetings scheduled, do we?
I think we have a meeting with the deputies on the schedule. And I'm not seeing it, but I'll verify.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Snake River Watershed, that was canceled. Lower St. Croix, that was canceled. It's kind of ironic because we finally got to the point in the Lower St. Croix where the work plan and everything, everybody's approved it. And then our meeting was, the first real working meeting was canceled. But anyway, and NLX was canceled. Is any other meetings to report on? Any other stuff to report on? Otherwise, look at your calendars. Truth and Taxation is at 6 p.m. on Thursday. And then AMC Virtual Annual Meeting is Monday the 7th, starts at 1. And actually, I have a rural counties meeting on Sunday afternoon, late afternoon, early evening. So I'll take part in that. And then the rest of our regular meetings will go on all month. Any other business anybody has to come before the board? Debbie, when will I have papers ready to sign?
Steve, everything is ready to go now.
Okay, I'll come in hopefully soon.
Okay, I'll let
Yeah.
Jessica know.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Yep. Thank you, everybody. No other business. We'll declare the meeting adjourned. Thank you.